What's up, family? It's another one for the century, man. We good?
For sure.
Get the viewers, provide the viewers with it. What's up, guys? It's your boy Quan. I'm back with another Fuel by Pain podcast. What's up, guys? It's your boy Quan, Mr. FBP Worldwide, here with another FBP podcast. Today, as you can see, I have an amazing co-host. I will let him introduce himself, and then we will get started with the podcast.
Hello, my name is Robert Scott. I'm the 11th president of Albany State University. Super excited to be here. Thank you for the invitation. Looking forward to having a good, open, honest discussion.
Yes, sir.
So bring it.
Hey, man, I'm ready.
Okay?
I'm ready. Starting off with the first question. Growing up in New Jersey and Suffolk, did I pronounce that correctly?
Suffolk.
Suffolk.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I cannot pronounce
No, don't.
that.
How about you just let me pronounce it?
Yeah.
All right? All right. We go somewhere else with it. All right?
Yes, sir. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What moments of the people can really helped you shape your life and believe that college was the first step into finding out it was possible for your family?
Yeah, good question. Good question. And there are some realities in that question.
Yes, sir.
I was born in New Jersey. I was born in Trenton, New Jersey, and like many people who were born in the 60s, my parents were originally from the more south. They were from the south. They were from the North Carolina area. And my father and his brothers all migrated up to the north for a better work experience. So they went up there to work in factories.
Yes, sir.
So I was born there, but I didn't live there very long. My dad at my very early age, I'm the youngest of six, when I was about 5, my dad decided, you know what, I'm going to move from Trenton, New Jersey, and take my family back down south. So we moved back to the Virginia area, which is at the border of North Carolina and Virginia, an area called Suffolk. And so it was at Suffolk where I actually grew up.
Yes, sir.
I really did not, in those growing up moments in Suffolk, really understand the role of higher education and what it could do for me in my career. In fact, my vision of success when I was growing up in Suffolk, I grew up on a bit of a pig farm there. Suffolk was pretty rural. My vision of success in that time was to get a job at the local meat slaughtering house, the local peanut production facility, or if I was really lucky, get a job at the shipyard, which was about 30 minutes outside of Suffolk. So education and higher education, because I'm the first in my family to go to college, wasn't really something that was a part of the plan. I kind of stumbled into it because of a school like Albany State. I went to Norfolk State University, and it opened up the world for me.
Speaking of Norfolk State,
Mm-hmm.
I'm so
Where are you from?
Alabama.
Yeah, you have
so
a tough
hard. It is so hard. I'm having so much trouble playing your identity and development, not just as a student, but as a black man.
Good question. The area that I grew up in, Suffolk, was a predominantly black area. My high school was a predominantly black high school. So you would think that growing up in a culture that was predominantly black, that you would have a good understanding of your identity, black identity. But going to a university, going to Norfolk State University, did something special. It opened up my eyes to the broadness and the bigness of what being black meant. It wasn't just the struggle, which is where I was growing up. There were people that I met in Norfolk State who were black people who were well off, black people who had experienced the world, some that were just like me. So going to Norfolk State actually opened up my aperture to understand that being black wasn't one thing.
That's strong.
It is a lot of things. And sometimes our local environment, our local communities only teach us one aspect of what being black is.
That is, man, how were you, coming from that perspective, how were you able to open your mind up and not stay so confined to your environment? How do you not become a product?
Yeah. I was fortunate. There are many people, I'm the youngest of 6. My parents and my siblings, I think at some point realized that I was who they wanted to invest in for that next opportunity for the family. So my siblings all viewed me as, Robert, you're the one who's going to go to college. You're smart, go to college. So I remember wanting to play high school sports. and my brothers all played high school sports, and I thought I was an okay athlete. And I remember my dad and my brother saying, "No, Robert, you're not going to play. You're going to study."
Mm.
I remember wanting to get a job to help out around the house, and I remember my dad telling me that, "No, you don't need to go get a job. I need you to go study." So my community decided for me, even though we had no idea how we were going to pay for school. My community decided for me that you have much more to offer than what you see around you, and we're going to invest in you.
And that's so huge. And I think a lot of times, I think us black families do that, but we do it only in a way of sports, not towards. Granted, go to school, get your education, but if you play in football, that becomes the main focus.
Yeah.
And we see a lot of black families do that. And we got to step away from that because education is just as important. An injury, anything can happen.
Yeah.
All right. How does your scientific training in cell and molecular biology influence the way you approach your decision making and leadership today?
Yeah, I often tell people I used to be really smart.
You used to be really smart?
I used to be
Nah,
really smart.
man.
I'm fortunate. I went, and I'll answer this question in two parts. So after I got my biology degree from Norfolk State, I went to Georgia Institute of Technology to work on my PhD. And how I ended up at Georgia Tech and why I selected that school is a whole different conversation. We'll have to entire that podcast.
Yes, sir.
The best mistakes that you've ever made.
I'm ready for it.
But I ended up at Georgia Tech, and like many people who come from an HBCU, at least during my time, there's always this underpinning thought that, am I good enough? Was I trained? Was the education at my HBCU strong enough to make me competitive? And I was just super excited when I made it to Georgia Tech. I remember taking biochemistry. And that biochemistry course was taken with graduate students from around the world and the nation from some of the bigger schools. And I remember the first test we took. We got the grades back, and the professor would give the grades in order of the highest grades to the lowest grade. I didn't get the first paper handed out, but I got the second. Mm-hmm. And when I saw that I only had a partial point taken off and other people from these great schools were struggling, I knew that Norfolk State had prepared me. And once I saw that, Norfolk State created an issue for everybody who challenged who I could be.
I know that's right.
They created an issue for them. So fast forward that to your question about how does a PhD in cell and molecular biology help me in my current role and how I do. Getting a PhD teaches you fundamentally how to think. It teaches you how to ask good questions. It teaches you how to look at data. It teaches you how to build hypotheses and test hypotheses. And all that sounds like a lot of scientific talk.
Yeah.
It really is how I think about every day. I approach every challenge that I'm faced with, whether it's run this university or what car to buy, from a scientific method. What is the hypothesis? What do we think is going to be the outcome? And then what are the tests you put in place to measure these outcomes? And then you have some real tools to say, this worked and this didn't work. So I am a data-driven person by training. I am a problem solver by design.
That's crazy. And while I was reading your biography, mm-hmm. It was very extensive, man.
Yeah.
Very, very extensive. Which brings me to my next question. From Coca-Cola to Kraft.
Yep.
And Abbott Nutrition. Did I say that correct? Abbott?
Mm-hmm.
You've led global team. What practices from corporate leadership has proven most valuable as a university president?
Yeah. The thing that I bring to the university presidency that I view as a tremendous differentiation and strength for why I'm here is probably the fact that I didn't grow up completely along the academic train. So when I finished my PhD, I went on and I taught at Norfolk State for a while. Then I went to UNC Chapel Hill, where I was a visiting research scientist there, and from there I went into corporate. Then I've been back to Boston College as a dean and Spelman College as a dean, and Coca-Cola pulled me out of Spelman College.
Wow.
So I've kind of gone this, and I'm one of the unique people who have had the ability to move fluidly between academia and corporate. Many people who start their life in academia can never survive in corporate. Many people who go to corporate can't survive in academia. So I'm this sort of strange bird that I can...
Why do you think you survived?
Well, part of the reason why I think I survived is because I don't view my job as an academic job or a corporate job. I'm in the business of solving problems. And what those problems look like doesn't matter whether they sit in a corporate environment or an academic environment. I address them the same way. When most people can't survive in the transition between one and the other, it's because they can't understand how the pace is different. I am flexible by nature. So I am able to pivot, I am able to understand, I'm able to shift. I think that my upbringings in a very rural place where mom and dad literally, when people say we survive week to week, day to day, that's how I grew up. So there is nothing in me that will ever be afraid of a challenge, whether it's in an academic setting or a corporate setting. I view all challenges, whether it's a challenge for what I'm going to eat next week, whether it's a challenge for where I'm going to put clothes on, whatever it is, it's one challenge for me.
Yes,
so I was able to pivot. So bring that back to the question. What corporate America taught me about being a president here at academia is that academics at the end of the day is a business. And sometimes we don't like to say that and hear that out loud, but it is. It is. When I was at Coca-Cola and Kraft Heinz, I was fortunate enough to work on billion-dollar brands, right? These brands that are worth, I've worked on over 21, $25 billion brands. Wow. And in every one of those brands, what we understood is every day we have to put a product in the market that made people want to come buy your product.
Yes, sir.
Every day we had to really care for the brand, because as soon as you take your eye off the strength of the brand, someone will come and take it from you. Now think about academia. Academia, every day we have to put a product in the market that every year, twice a year, students have to decide that they want to buy your product called Albany State University. It's a product. It's just like in corporate. So we have to put a product in the marketplace that students want to buy. Now, what's even more challenging, unlike when you have things like Coca-Cola, etc., once you buy a Coke, you love a Coke, it's yours for the next 50 years. In academia, every year we have to recruit a new user base.
Really?
Every year. Every single year there's a new group of students who you got to make them choose you. So for me, corporate America has taught me to treat a university like a brand. Everything we do matters. Every moment we do matters. The customer service,
top notch.
We got to make our customer service at all of our universities top notch. Those are the differentiators. When you look at when people walk away from a brand, it's typically because they were dissatisfied by something. If you no longer buy your favorite whatever cereal because I bought it and it was stale a couple of times, so I'm not going to buy that anymore. Our universities are the same way. If you as a student continue to come here and have issues with customer service, oh, I went to the financial aid and they were so rude to me. Oh, I went here and the lines were wrapped around the bed. Oh, I went to the cafeteria and the person feeding me just threw my food in the plate. We can't ever not have excellent customer service.
Yes, sir.
Ever. It destroys your brand. And then you meet alumni 30 years later. And I talk to alumni and say, well, are you a giving alum? No, I'm not going to give because when I was there, I remember the registrar. So brands matter.
It's also about first impressions, man.
Yeah.
They matter so much. I remember, it's crazy. That's why I actually got into housing and became a resident assistant. Mm-hmm. When I first got to Albany State University, Mama J, Michelle B. Joyner, brought me in and welcomed me like a family, man. Yes. That's why I ultimately chose housing. That's why I'm still here, getting my degree, man. I love housing. I love Albany State University.
Those are what we call, in the business world, we call those first moments of truth. And in a university, we have several opportunities to create those moments of truth. Whoever is in charge of our recruitment, because those recruitment agents go out into the marketplace, they go to the high schools, they go to the fairs, and they represent the face of the university before anyone else.
Yes, sir.
That's important. Other sort of key recruiting moments for those first moments of truth are our athletics. Most universities leverage athletics and at HBCU, things like the marching band as a representation of who the institution can be. And students in high school are imagining themselves on campus, participating. Many students don't choose schools based on the academic criteria. They based it on what experience do I think I'm going to get there. So we owe it to the students that we're pursuing and to ourselves to make sure we're putting the best experience for it and have great academics.
Yes, sir.
Right? You don't separate the great academics. Academics is what gives the student the success on the back end. Other things recruits them into your university. Academics makes them successful.
That's how it goes. It's literally a one-step to two-step process, man. Absolutely. One foot doesn't come after the other one.
Absolutely.
Your work emphasizes transformation and innovation. How does that mindset translate to your vision here at ASU and beyond?
Yeah. In order for ASU to be relevant, sustainable over the long haul, we're going to have to innovate how we do things. I often tell, I had a wonderful time at Norfolk State. Alumni from Albany State had a wonderful time when they were here, but our time is gone. If the university that I attended in the late 80s is the same university today, it has failed. If Albany State University, if alumni come back here and say, oh, this is exactly the same place that was here when I was here, we have failed. And even as an alumni base, you are doing a disservice if you want this university to stay like it was in the past, because the world is moving. Absolutely. So our time has come, our time is gone. So innovation for me, transformation and innovation is just a reflection of everything we do should be transforming the university to the next wave of greatness. And in order to do that, it's going to take innovative thinking. The way students learn when I was in school is different than the way students learn now. Yes. The way I used to enjoy my dormitory. I had the same roommate for 4 years, but we had communal bathrooms where we all walked down the hallway with a shower wrapped around us, going into a common shower space. It taught you humility, because somebody's going to grab your towel, and get it off of you right in the middle of the hallway. That doesn't exist anymore. No. The housing here is like apartments to me. So that's transformation and innovation. So take that as a micro environment and say, now we have to understand that we have to innovate in how we educate our students. We have to innovate in how we talk to our students. We have to innovate in how we create workplace characteristics for our students. So innovation is growth. If you're not innovating, you're being left behind, and we're doing a disservice to our students.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more with you, man, to be honest.
Yeah.
What makes this HBCU replaceable in today's educational ecosystem?
What makes it replaceable?
Irreplaceable.
Oh, irreplaceable.
Yeah, irreplaceable. Like Beyonce.
Yeah, irreplaceable. Because I can answer both. You could put replaceable and irreplaceable. I have an answer for both of them.
Let's do it.
All right. Let's start with replaceable. What would make this university replaceable? Not moving forward. The biggest fear I have for this university is we get so static and comfortable and complacent with who we have been that we become replaceable.
Stuck in time.
You become stuck in time. You become replaceable. You become irrelevant to what the needs of today are because you're stuck in time. So we replaceable. What would make this universe replaceable? Stand the same way we are.
Absolutely.
You would become irrelevant. And in today's world, unlike when I went to school, sometimes in that period, people went to school because that was the local school. Now a lot of people got on planes and traveled around the state to go to places. You kind of went to the school that was within a driving distance. But today, students can go anywhere they want to go. And if you don't have a compelling reason for them to come to Albany State, they won't come.
Absolutely.
And if there are no students here, guess what? There is no Albany State. Albany State becomes replaceable. All right? Yes, now, what makes it irreplaceable? If we do the things we should do, there is no experience, no education like an HBCU education that's grounded in the love of the mission and the quality of education that comes with it.
Yes, sir.
I gave the example about the test I took in biochemistry. I realized at that moment that my training at Norfolk State was world class. I didn't know it when I was there. It was world class, not just in what I got in the books, but it was world class in terms of the professors holding my hand.
Mm.
I'm coming from an environment where no one in my family could teach me what to do next. They believed in me, they supported me, but they couldn't tell me about registration. They couldn't tell me about class. They couldn't tell me about anything. So I needed an environment where professors held my hand and moved me along the way.
Yes,
and at the same time, they had such a high level of expectation of what my academic readiness would be. So the thing that makes an HBCU irreplaceable in today's age is we have not left that mission of loving and holding and caring for our students, because we understand our students come from a diversity of backgrounds. We have not left the mission of having an elevated academic standard for our students. That makes it irreplaceable.
That's so strong. And it's crazy because we have to I remember creating a place for even a student like me who comes from absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
But I remember a time when ASU, I just met, I can't think of his name. He's the head of the ASU Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
I met him at the table. I actually sat with him. I thanked him because there was a time that I absolutely didn't have anything left. And I can't depend on my mom or my family at all to fund my education. It was me and myself out here at Albany State University. And ASU Foundation helped me out. Yeah. So it's the relationships and situations like that that shows you how much we are a family behind the scenes.
And to build on that, many of our students show up with need. So about 80% of the students who come to Albany State, and this is just not about Albany State, this is true of many HBCUs, they come in needing some form of financial assistance, yes, 80%. And many of those students end up with very small gaps in making it, their availability to move from semester to semester. Sometimes it's as low as $200, $300, $500. They need that gap support. And what I hope to build over time is a system of giving to the university where we're able to support scholarships for students to help them get through those periods of time.
Especially if they're doing good.
Especially, I think that the quality of students that are here at Albany State are great. I think that our graduation rate for students can be improved, but some of those improvement things are not based on the student's capability. Mm-hmm. It's based on the student's availability of the resources they need to be successful.
Absolutely.
They're super smart. I meet so many students as I walk around campus, and I ask them. I do get out, right? I do get out. I get out because I want to know. I can't make any decisions as the president if I'm sitting in the office not out there understanding what's really going on. Yes, so I meet students every day, and I typically ask them one or two questions when I first meet them. How are you doing? How are your grades? And I think they're getting used to it because they see me coming. And then I usually say all A's, and someone will say way too quickly, yes, all A's. And then someone will say, no. But I do that because I want them to first know that I care.
That's important.
I care, and I'm asking you that because I care about your future. And then I want you to know there's someone here to help you if you're struggling. I think Albany State University has tons of resources for students who are struggling. And I don't want students to wait until the last minute before they go and ask for these resources. These resources are broad-based. They're academic resources to help you with academically struggling. They're financial resources to help those who are financially struggling. There's mental health resources to help those that are struggling with mental health. We invest millions of dollars every year on resources to support students. And one of my biggest fears and concerns are students don't know they're there, or they don't use them for whatever reason.
So how can we do more to get them the support they need?
I think part of it is myself as president being just tremendously visible in communicating that we're here to support you and here are the resources. I think that the student affairs, the academic affairs, these teams, and there are support groups in there that talk about it. I think our Student Government Association is doing a good job, at putting those things out there. We just have to make it cool to be okay saying I need help. I was talking to one young man at lunch, and I don't remember his name, but if he hears this, he'll remember the scenario. I remember scenarios. And this young man was there. He was really loud. And he was sitting to my left. He wasn't even having lunch. He was just really loud, over the top. And he was saying some things that I said, that's not what I think that represents who we want to be.
Mm-hmm.
So after lunch, I kind of scooted down there and I started talking to him. And I ended up having a conversation with him about, and then the people that were sitting around him were just locked in on every one of his words.
Mm-hmm.
He just had leadership pouring through his pores. They wanted to be a part of his conversation. They wanted to be around him. But he was using that leadership characteristic in all the wrong ways. And I think our university is full of people who people want to follow.
Absolutely.
And we have to help those natural born leaders help lead the university to the future we want.
Yes, sir.
And so I called him out. He was probably surprised that I called him out on it. And I talked about, what do you really want to do with your future? Amongst all the peers, so it's probably a little embarrassing. And he actually started talking about what it is he wanted to do. And I offered up. He hasn't reached out to me yet, but I offered up, you should come back and talk to me. And I've done this for many, many people on this campus, many students on this campus. I've walked to them and I said, you should come by and talk to me. You should let me help you. A few reach out, many don't. If the president of the university offers his support to you, take it up.
Absolutely.
Those are life-changing opportunities.
They just don't know it yet.
They just don't know yet.
Just don't know it yet.
They are life-changing opportunities. So for those in the future, if I walk and find you and I say, hey, come by and talk to me, let me help you, I mean it. I'm not just saying this to create air.
Mm-hmm.
I really mean I want to help you be successful.
Yes, sir. And while we're here, man, I would love to give you your flowers while we're on this podcast. And I can say from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate you, man, for even taking the time out to listen to me, to create the time and the space to even come on this podcast and grace your presence on my platform. I am utterly grateful. Literally, I might seem nervous in front of the camera because, like, I really am. I'm shaking. Like, I feel like there's so many emotions going. Like, I'm a young black man sitting with the president of a university. Yeah. That means so much more than, so that's different. I just want to take that time.
But positions for me don't matter. What people will learn about me over time is, and maybe it's because of how I grew up, positions, for me, the higher you are in an organization, the more of a servant you're supposed to be. Right? That's your job. If you think that your position puts you above others, it's wrong. You should be lifting people up. So the culture that I want to create here at Albany State is a culture where the leaders are in service to the university.
Yes, sir.
The leaders are the ones who are asking, what can I do for you? How can I help you? And if we create that culture, it will make all the difference in the university. I also want to create a culture where the students don't allow us as faculty, staff, and administrators off the hook. The university will be great when the students demand that the university is great. The university will be great when the students stop letting us not do our job and call it good. For example, if your faculty member doesn't show up at class and in 10 minutes or 15 minutes, you guys start handing that paper around and people sign and then everybody dip out.
We leaving.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. If that faculty member is not there in 10 or 15 minutes, call your department chair and say, hey, I paid for this. Call the dean and say, hey, I paid for this and nobody here. Call the provost, call the president and say, we paid for a class and nobody's here to teach us. Who would, I don't know how much you're paying in a semester, but over a 4-year period at ASU, 4 years of coming to ASU, you could buy a really nice, what's your favorite car?
I want a CTV Blackwing.
Okay, I don't know how much it is.
$80,000.
$80,000. I can get you pretty close with a 4-year education in terms of what you pay to come to school, all in. So imagine you go and buy this CT Blackwing.
Yeah, CTV.
And when you go in there, you say, yeah, I'm going to drop this $80,000 on you. And by the way, take out that back seat and take one of those tires off and keep the muffler, but take that catalytic converter out and take out 3 of those spark plugs. That's what it's like. You would never do that, would you?
It ain't drivable, no.
Right, it's not. But that's what we're doing when we accept that we're not going to ask the faculty to do all the classes.
Yes, sir.
That's what we get when we accept that, I'm not getting what I need. I'm not going to tutoring. It's tutoring development, but I'm not going to go. All the things that you're paying for as a student, get it all.
Absolutely.
Get it all, get it all, get it all, get it all, get it all. And when the students decide they want it all, this university will become a student-driven university that's about excellence. When students decide they want excellence, it will happen. So my challenge to it can happen today.
You have a history of creating powerful university industry partnerships. What kind of partnerships do you think could elevate ASU students the most?
Oh, good question. The type of industry partnerships or just partnerships in general.
Yes, sir.
Partnerships that let me tell you what my vision is. I want every ASU student who wants to have an intern during the summers to have an intern. So I want to create the right sort of corporate partnerships where we have enough corporate partnerships, we have enough alumni who are committed to that initiative that we just need to find the students.
Yes, sir.
I also want to create the partnerships that allow, when it's time to graduate, every student who wants to get a job coming out of Albany State University, how do you design a plan where 75 to 80% of those students have a job lined up day one when they graduate? Those things can be done through partnerships, right? And intentionality. We have, alumni everywhere, in every industry, every part of the workforce, who are looking for ways to partner and give back to the university. What we have to do is put the structure in place, help the students understand what the things they need to do, and to deliver those things as partnerships for internships and for workplace. Another type of partnership that I'm looking to build forward is we got to bring in alternative revenue sources to the university.
Absolutely. You talked about that.
Yeah,
before.
So partnerships with corporate entities in terms of sponsorship, research sponsorship, philanthropic giving, workplace development. We need to have partners where ASU is delivering a product through the students for these industries. Partnerships are going to be critical. What we cannot and will not be able to do is to grow ASU by ourselves. It will never happen. Partnerships are going to be key.
Yes, sir. Do you feel additional pressure or responsibility because of the communities you represent?
Do I feel additional pressure or responsibility? Additional. So I'll play on the word additional.
Here at ASU, especially with the social media attention and everything that's been going on.
Well, I'm not on social media, which is probably the best thing I could ever do.
You have no idea.
Because I stay off social media because I want to stay disciplined. And I don't want to be distracted.
Yes, sir.
And as much as social media is for good, it's also a lot of distractions on social media. Social media is not where you go have a strategic conversation. So if you want to have a strategic conversation about how to grow the university, social media is not the place you have that. So I don't. But do I feel additional pressure and responsibility? I do feel. I don't think the word is pressure. The good news is I am coming from a system where I've had the accountability of billions of dollars, thousands of employees.
Yeah.
Right. So the pressures are different. What I feel is I feel this great responsibility to move this university to the next level.
Yes, sir.
I feel this great opportunity when I look at Albany State and where we sit in the university system of Georgia, where we sit in Southwest Georgia. I can see in my mind's eye what the future for Albany State looks like. So I have this sense of urgency that I want to run to where we can get there. And I see it when I close my eye, I see it as clear as the nose on my face. And I want to run.
Yes,
I want to run to get there. And so I have very little patience for things that are distracting us from that. I have very little patience for things that, it's like a parachute. So you ever try to run if you're an athlete and you're trying to build your legs, you're running with that mini parachute on. There's nothing more frustrating than putting in a lot of effort and then you have these other things that are detracting you, holding you back. So those things aren't pressure. They're, the sense of urgency. I feel a tremendous sense of urgency because I do believe that Albany State University is at this pivotal moment.
Yes, sir.
I think we're at a pivotal moment where either we're going to grow and be amazing or we're going to be the university that we've been for the last 10 years. And either choice is the choice we make.
Either irreplaceable or replaceable.
Exactly.
Exactly. It's crazy how we tied that together.
Yeah. You tied it together. You're the professional here, right?
Leadership can be heavy. How do you personally protect your mental health while carrying such a visible and demanding role?
Yeah. I am built differently, right? And I'm learning that about myself. I manage stress differently. And the first thing that I do is I'm even. You're never going to see me get high. You're never going to see me get low. I am even, pragmatic, data-driven thinker.
And that sounds so much easier said than done.
Yeah, and what I do, my appearance of even is not because it doesn't come with work. I work out. I try to keep my body in shape. I exercise. And I haven't figured out how to do it here, but in my corporate life, I have a gym that was in the same building I was at. And if I had a very hard meeting, I didn't wear a suit and tie every day. If I had a very hard meeting and it was frustrating and I felt as if I was going to take the frustration of that meeting into my next session, I would go to the gym with my pants on and whatever shirt I had on, and I'd work out. I wouldn't work out to a sweat. I'd work out just below the sweat moment, and I would leave whatever that frustration was in the gym. I don't want to take anxiety, frustration from one meeting to another meeting. So I do leverage working out quite a bit. I also leverage this sort of belief that I have that I'm an optimist by genetics. I am a hopeless optimist. I fundamentally believe that things will work out if you work out. If you work the problem, you'll get to the solution. So even when things look like they're overwhelming, I know that the solution exists. So I don't get too excited about it because I know a solution exists if we do the work.
That's crazy. Had you been in here before you came in, you just saw me panicking like that. All right, man. So, as always, at the end of the FBP podcast, I asked the co-host to give some advice or words of wisdom to somebody that's either in their position or might be in their position one day in the future.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So advice to someone who may be aspiring to be a university president?
Yes, sir. Or there now.
All right. So I have two things. So as a university president, I'm the new kid on the block. So the advice I would give is the university presidency is a tough job. It's one of those jobs where you have many bosses. You have the faculty is your boss, the staff are your boss, the students are your boss, every alumni is your boss, every community member is your boss. If you belong to the system of Georgia, the Board of Regents is your boss, the chancellor is your boss, the governor is your boss. Everybody's your boss. And everybody thinks they can do your job better than you, right? So that's just everybody thinks it's like an athlete. I see the athletes on the field, working hard, playing hard. And everybody in the stands telling them what play to run and how to run through that line. And if anybody had to get out there and do it, they couldn't do it.
They couldn't do it, right?
Right. So it's like that. So what you have to be, my advice would be, set a North Star. Come in with clarity on what it is that you want to contribute to the university. Mm-hmm. Understand that this is like a relay race. As much as I may want to be here for 100 years, I'm not going to be here for 100 years. The presidency and the president are two different things. Mm-hmm. As a president, I am here to deliver my leg of the race. I'm going to run my leg of the race hard. I'm going to hope that I put things in place that the next person who comes in will outrun me.
Absolutely.
So my advice to a president would be, it's not about you, it's about the presidency. And if we do our job well, the next person should come in and make us look like we were standing still if we set the table right for them.
Yes, sir.
That would be my advice.
That's how we do it.
Okay.
Hey, man, this is a Fueled by Pain episode with the one and only Albany State University president, man.
Thank you.
Once again, FBP, we are out.
All right. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Can you give us a picture real quick?